Okay, today we are playing a game on Nepal. We are in the Silver SR range, and we will be playing Anna the entire way through. I don't think this is a console game, but let me just check the email real quick to see if it says. I know I've seen this person before, but I don't remember if you're a console player. I'm sorry, forgive me, please. It doesn't say in the email. There's no obvious console name, so I don't know. I know I've seen you before. I'm sorry, I don't remember if you were a console player. This like video is fucking 7 out of 9. I'm sorry, I'm very tired and I'm still sick. Sanctum first. I don't like being on this side as Anna very much, but this is where our team has gone, so we like had to follow them, such is life, you know. Because this side forces us to be real close to the bad men, which we don't really want to do if we're playing Anna, and we can at all avoid it. So we rotated back around to the point. That was a good nade. We got the Roadhog right as he was taking a breather as well. Didn't really need to go back up around that side. Most of our team was coming out onto the point. So we spent a fair bit of time just trying to get in line of sight to see anybody. When hopefully they'd all be coming out onto the point anyway. So Sanctum is pretty sick when we have control. Because now we can just stand on our opposite side as Anna. Like, the goal, the dream situation for us is to just sit here the entire time. This is the way with all long range. This is the way. Is the way we want to do it with, like, all long range heroes, really. And, like, supports, we don't like being on the point very much when we're playing supports. So this is very scary, and I don't like it much. It does make it way easier to, like, throw grenades at people and hit them with sleep darts, but it's also a lot scarier at the same time. Okay, we must be playing on PC. That turn was, like, way too fast for console. Missed the sleep dart on the tack visor. You know, such is life. If you're in a situation where it's like I have to sleep the person or die, you know, sometimes you miss the sleep, right? You could say, well, you could have known that the soldier was coming ahead of time. Yeah, but like lots of stuff's going on, you know. Try not to stand on the point though, as support. That's what we have tanks for, you know. We let the big boys go stand on the point, and we go stand off to the side. We do have to worry about it a little bit more if they're playing like a dive comp, because then you're going to want to position closer to your teammates so that they can help you when you get dove on, but they're not running a dive comp, so we don't have to worry about that. That got pretty scary, but it all resolved quite well. Our Pharah was using Barrage. I would have liked if we looked at her a little bit more closely while that fight was actually happening, while she was using Barrage. But simultaneously, she did have Sound Barrier on her, so she was probably going to be fine regardless. But Barrage, Pharah players are known to die. You know, that's not. He's there again. I just heard him in my right ear, and I was like, the exact same thing is about to happen to us. I guess we'll go back. Did we see him? If we are further to the left, it is easier to see this happening, because you can peep around the corner a little bit more. No, I didn't see the guy. It is easier to see somebody going for like that if you're on the left-hand side, because then you can see through the windows on the right-hand side, so you can like catch a glimpse of somebody going around to do that kind of maneuver. If you're that far to the right, you are more likely to get surprised by something like that happening. The trade-off is the left side has less cover on it, but if you position like back towards the staircase a little bit, or just like further over to the other staircase on the left, then you're still pretty good regardless, and you have a wider field of view of things. Like, you know, like back here, you'll see Soldier go through the windows. Well, you might not. They're pretty small windows by all accounts, but you're more likely to see him. Jesus Christ. Ooh, Ash is not having a good time, huh? So we've got Nano Boost. Genji's really close to having his ultimate, so we'd like to save it to use with him. Alright, we won the team fight. Don't have to worry about it. So Genji's got Dragon Blade. We only really need to win one more team fight. to win the round, since we're at 75%. So hopefully we'll win the round just off having Nano Boost and Dragon Blade, but we know what those wacky Genji players are like, don't we? Who knows what he's about to get up to in the next 15 or so seconds. But hopefully we're paying close attention to him right now. Yep, there we go. Okay, sick. You know, not ideal combo timing on it, but, like, definitely still fine. And it looks like we're gonna win. Yeah, we won. Sick. 75%, we've got Nano Blade ready. Like, something has to go really badly for us to lose this team fight right now. Alright, now, Village. This one is a lot worse for Ana. There's not really an amazing place to stand on this map for Ana. Because, like, back here is pretty safe, but you don't have a good field of view of the point. Standing off on the side, like, left side and right side are both scary for their own flanking-related reasons. Again, you don't want to stand on the point. Left and right are better if you can, but you do have to be, like, very cognizant of the fact that you're right next to an easy flank route on both sides, so, or on either side. You're not going to get flanked from both sides simultaneously, but, you know, yeah, whatever. Standing on the point, still scary, you know. General thing in life, standing on the point is quite scary, and best avoided if you're playing a support. You know, hopefully they just come up the middle and nobody ever tries to flank us, but you know, somebody's already up on the right side. Somebody's already flanking on the right-hand side, and it was Soldier. Of course it was. Of course it was Soldier. Soldier be this way. So, the fact I saw Soldier did that once, I've already observed Soldier to be a creature of habit, because he did the exact same visor flank 2 times in a row. So, I now don't want to stand on the right side of the point anymore, because I'm expecting Soldier to do that exact thing again. So if we get control of the point again, I'm standing more to the left side of the point if I can. Yeah, if they start coming up on the left-hand side, I don't get a choice in the matter. Then I have to, like, go back to the other side of the point, but I'm going to stand on the left side as much as I can to try and avoid getting flanked by Soldier, because I think he'll do that multiple times. Just based off previous observations, you know, seems like he's probably going to do it a second time. We are walking with this damage, but we're walking with that damage orb. Just stop for half a second, and the damage orb will fly away, and you can resume walking that way. Try to avoid walking with the damage orb. It will stay with you. We tried to sleep her. She was using, Fortify. I almost said Faultify. Fortify at the time, so it didn't work out. To be fair, it was really hard to tell she was using Fortify right there. I'm colorblind, it might be my bad. But, like, I could barely tell she was using Fortify there to begin with, so I'll not be too upset about it. Yeah, so, no, not the end of the world. We don't have Genji anymore, so we don't really have much of a combo anymore. So at this point, like, the best combo we got right now is pretty much whole hog, like, combo-wise. So at this point, I'm pretty much thinking I'm just gonna Nano Boost Winston once he jumps in. Because there's no, like, great combo anymore. We could combo with Bob, but the thing with that is there's a lot that can go wrong with Bob. You know, Bob's not necessarily a safe bet. Like, right there, I would have just, like, Nano Boosted Winston right there, over the wall, because he's already in at that point. And Winston is a pretty safe Nano Boost target. You know, Winston can get to the back line really quickly, and, like, a Nano Boosted Winston is very terrifying. You know, if you're playing a squishy person and that nanoed Winston comes at you, you're not too happy about it. So things are not looking too good. I'm not thinking we're going to capture this point. Our team just went through a fairly dramatic shift composition-wise, but the round is over at this point. Something catastrophic has to happen for them to lose this point. Nobody's even going to touch it. Yeah. Such is life. Such is life. You can't win them all. Alright, now, Village. An okay map for Ana. You know, not as good as Sanctum. To be fair, Sanctum's very hard to live up to in terms of convenience for a long-range hero. Sanctum is fucking incredible if you are a long-range hero. Boy, it's amazing. I love it. Big fan. I love playing Soldier on Sanctum. Yeah, it's so hard to actually, like, get you off of the spot. We did not need to use the grenade on that guy. He was gonna live. I guess he might not have lived. He was probably going to live, though. I didn't like using the grenade right there. I'd much rather have the grenade right now. We got it now. Unfortunately, like, you might say that was a difference of like a second or two as to when I said it. Yeah, but that difference of a second or two was the difference between Winston getting it and Winston not getting it. So, you know, it ended up being a kind of a big deal, because now Winston's like totally running away. I wish this guy wasn't playing Winston versus this team. I like the little jiggle we did, you know, a little bit of zigzag on him. We now do have two combos again, because we now have Death Blossom and Dragon Blade. Dragon Blade's obviously better. You know, if we get the choice in the matter, we want to go for Dragon Blade over Death Blossom, but we have Reaper as a fallback if we can't do Dragon Blade, and Reaper is just pretty good, generally, right? Like, you don't need Reaper to have his ultimate for Reaper to be a good nano boost target. Pretty easy for him to do damage, and he does big damage anyway. So now suddenly he's like one-shotting people in the back line, you know. Good times. We nanoed Winston. That might not have been intentional, given the situation we were in. I don't really like nanoing Winston at this point, especially with Genji and Reaper being so close to their ultimates. I didn't like that. I would have rather saved that nano boost. I don't know if it was intentional or not, though. No, not psychic, you know, but I didn't like using it there. So, oh god, that's scary. Yeah, that's fair enough. We didn't get the Roadhog with that bio grenade. That's unfortunate. He would have probably died if we did, but, you know, it was more important we got our boys with it in that situation, and we did get both our boys with it. Boy, what a mess. It's just like, Roadhog's behind us. Yeah, so we want to get out of that. Like, Roadhog just shot from behind us. Yeah, this is like a real mess of a situation. This is the kind of situation where I just changed to Moira. Be honest with you. Like, this game is an absolute clusterfuck. And, like, our teammates are constantly taking damage, right? Like, they're constantly taking a lot of damage. I would just change to Moira at this point, because I feel like getting value on Ana has become too difficult, whereas it is quite easy to get value on Moira in this situation. So we're comboing with Dragon Blade right now. Off he goes to kill, hopefully, lots of people. We did get Moira with that sick. Alright, yeah. And hey, you know, here's the being Ana justified, right? We got the Nano Blade in the team fight. So, you know, drop your ult before you die, but I would now like to be Moira, just based off the way these team fights have been going. They've been, like, a kind of a disaster and very scary. So, position... So, there's a question, like, related to positioning, which is why I'm trying to talk about it as much. Village is kind of inconvenient, but it's not, like, as bad as Shrine is on Nepal. Basically, like, standing over here is a pretty good default location to be, because it's very hard to die once you have control over the point, right? Like, if they start coming that way, you see them, you know, you can react to whichever way they go, because if they come straight at you, you can rotate around over to this side of the point, and then you're good. And if they go the other way around, you're still good, right? Because then you don't have to move, you're already on the opposite side of the point. And if they go up that way, you'll still see them. And you can still harass them and shoot at them while they're doing it, and then they're going to drop down on that side properly, probably. So you're already on the good side, because basically you want to be on the opposite side of the point to where the bad men are coming through. So if the bad men are rushing this side, you want to be over here, and if they're rushing this side, you want to be over here. There are a lot more hazards that can happen over here. Like, this is a much more dangerous spot, because you're a lot closer to a lot of modes of access, right? Like, they can come through a lot of doorways at you. Whereas over here, there are comparatively less ways. There's only really that door. Somebody can go that way if they've got some mobility that will allow it, but people very rarely come this way. Like, flankers, I find, almost never come this way, so you almost don't have to worry about it. Bear it in mind, obviously, but it's much safer over here, and you can just rotate, depending on what the bad men do. It's not as good as Sanctum, but again, Sanctum's a high bar, right? Again, there's something about positioning specifically in the email, so that's what I'm trying to talk about as like, so specifically. You know, trying to do a good job. Soldier's using tack visor. Yep, here he comes. Little hazardous to go the other way, so we just tuck. I don't like how long we exposed ourselves to him for, but I do like the attempt to get him with the cooldowns at least. Basically, we went, like, really far away from the corner to do that. I wanted that to be, like, a really narrow peek around the corner. I literally, one eye around the corner, try and get him with the cooldown, and then poke around again, you know. Anyway, so now, opposite side. They're all on that side. Hooray. You know, I have to be careful about people coming around the sides at us still, but, like, hard to die back here. Oh, here comes Riptire. Okay, we were good. We still had enough sound barrier on us to make it through. Oh, we got Roadhog with that. Sick. Soldiers behind us. Oh, yeah. And that's why I want to be Moira. In that kind of situation, Moira is a lot better because you've got your orb bouncing around inside of this point. You're just spraying all over your team. It was really, you know, you can just heal them, brute force heal them through that kind of situation. Anna can't, like, she doesn't have the same kind of AoE healing that, Moira has, so it's a lot harder in that situation for Anna. We are Moira now, of course. Round's pretty much done at this point, though. So, you know. Life is hard, you know. Life is hard. It's okay. It's okay. We barely lost. We barely lost. I think that last team fight, if we were Moira for that last team fight, I'm basically advocating for throwing yourself off the side of the map. Basically, after we used Nanoblade that one time, I'm pretty much advocating for throwing yourself off the map so that you can change to Moira and then come back and be, like, better for, like, the kind of situation that came up. And that's kind of hindsight is 2020 to say that, but I was already saying it before that occurred, that I want to be Moira in case that kind of situation occurs again, because it already did happen once. Like, Moira is just so much better in that kind of situation than Anna, just because she can, especially in such a confined location, it's really easy to have the healing orb bouncing over your team repetitively in that kind of area. Moira can just, like, brute force her team through that kind of position, whereas Anna can't. So, in the question, it says, my questions are, I want to carry games as Anna with things like offensive grenades and perfect positioning, so I can be a heal bot while assisting my team to win fights. Was it possible for me to position myself better enough to not get killed and healing my teammates while still throwing anti-nades to help win team fights, or was I just unlucky? So on Sanctum, we could have been positioned better, I think. Already talked about that, so I won't belabor it. Shrine, we were never really in a good enough position for it to matter. Like, that game, positioning didn't really come into it on that round, so I can't really say, because we were never really in a controlling position. Though I did outline, like, what I would have liked to do if we were, but we were never in that kind of position. And then Village, like, we more or less did what we could. I think we just needed to be Moira for the later parts of that. Like, Anna obviously got us the point with the capture on the Nanoblade, but, after that, Moira would have just been so much better for that kind of situation. Anna's just really limited when you find yourself like that, boxed in, that threatened from so many locations, and so many people need healing. Yeah, so, you know, that's kind of, you more or less say, like, you can pretty much say that was, like, unlucky. It's not strictly what it was, but, like, you know, we found ourselves playing Anna in a situation that was very hazardous for Anna, so it's not surprising this was the outcome. You know, it was why I want to be Moira. To be fair, though, simultaneously, I just like Moira a lot more. I just like Moira a lot more. Because, especially in low SRs, you find yourself in that kind of position so much that I find Moira is just way easier to get value on, because you can just, like, brute force heal your teammates through terrible decisions on their parts. Anna can't really do that. Yeah. So, you know, briefly, like, positioning-wise for Anna, you want to be kind of far away from the bad men, but you also want to be close enough to your team that you can get help if needed. And then, like, it's, you know, if you're too far back, you can't really get people with grenades, which is half of the point of Anna, you know? So, you want to be kind of close. It's like, you know, just go back, right? Like, you know, just, like, just point at a spot on the map rather than talking in such abstract terms, right? You know? Like, you got your team, like, here, you know, don't be here, please, but you got your team, like, right here. You're standing, like, back here, you know? You're, like, one layer of men back from the bad men, you know, and you're like pretty, you watch them from the doorway, you're good. It's still pretty easy to hit people with grenades because you're only like 20 meters away from them or something like that, you know. Don't want to be like right up on them. You don't want to be like fighting on the point if you can at all avoid it. Yeah, if you can go high ground, that's great, but unfortunately you don't. High ground is often but a fleeting dream on villages until you stand up here for all of 5 seconds, then someone comes through that doorway and you're not allowed to stand here anymore. It's very upsetting. Yeah, so there you go. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. More than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost us. If you felt I answered your question from the email inadequately, please let me know, and I will try to expand further. If you haven't already, I've already did that part. Search me on Twitch Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 p.m. EST to 11 EST. There's links to your channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and so much still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future, and I hope you found the video helpful.